Would you be concerned with what we've seen from his first campaign?
Right now, as we said, I'm not that concerned, because I think clearly when you have a league-winning team, you're afforded a little bit more leeway, a little bit more time to grow. And I think that's the thing about City's comeback that's changed a lot in narrative that we've been discussing here for the last couple of days. Narrative around this team and being under pressure, around Pep Guardiola. And I think as individuals in the team goes, a lot of the discussion around Jack Grealish has changed as a result. If City had lost and Liverpool won the league title, I think Grealish would have come under a lot more criticism because of his price tag and the fact that he didn't deliver. But all of a sudden, that turnaround has changed so much about the discussion, so much about the feeling, and so much about Jack Grealish as an individual as well, that I think you say that this City team is good. You know it's going to get a whole lot better with the signing of Erling Haaland, and it affords Jack Grealish more time to grow into Pep Guardiola's style, because I think Jan is absolutely right in pointing out how difficult it can sometimes be settling into a Pep Guardiola team. So a lot has changed in 5 minutes of football for nobody more so than Jack Grealish. And I think he'll get another chance. I think he'll come good in understanding what's needed.
Shout out to Jack Grealish, by the way, because underreported as it may be, when Manchester City were trailing 2-0 to West Ham, it was his goal that got his team back, right? So he hasn't had the season that people were expecting, and yet ends up scoring a really important goal. Now, it gets overshadowed by the 5 minutes that we just went through this weekend, but you go back to that game against West Ham and how they were struggling. They needed a comeback. Who's part of that comeback? It was indeed Jack Grealish.
Does Pep like him, Nathan?
Well, I'd imagine so, since he signed him, and he does still like to put him on and so on. So I think he just understands that, and I think most City fans understand this as well. Like, a lot of the players who we see be exceptional for them almost week in, week out now, they're not necessarily always great in that first season under Pep. You know, there is a bit of time to adjust, to figure things out, to get used to, you know, playing for the club, to get used to the teammates, get used to that level of expectation. Because for Jack, you know, Aston Villa are a really good club, but they're not Man City in this moment. And the standard is so different. The expectations are so different as well. Like, if you're not performing, you know, you're being replaced by somebody who's a world-class talent. And before you know it, you're spending time on the bench wondering if you're going to get the chance to come in again. But ultimately, whenever you get put in, you have to contribute. And as Ali was alluding to there, that goal last week against West Ham, you know, which was the second, like, that was the first time City being 2-0 down and coming back last week and then doing it again this week, you know, maybe shows there's some character in there, maybe some leaders. And for Jack, I think he'll want to get better. I think Pep knows that he can get better. And I think if they didn't think he had that sort of belief within him, I don't think they would have signed him, because for City, it's always been more than just about the ability. It's about the mentality as well. And I think they can definitely get more from him next year. But Jack himself, I think he'll believe he can do more as well.
And for the point where that Shaka is doing, that if they didn't succeed now in the league, the small details, how his season is, but we can take it also the other way around. Jack Grealish, the last 10-15 minutes against Real Madrid was excellent. He could have scored 2 goals there. If he did that, this will be the Tuesday coming up to the Champions League final where he put him there. So it just shows you on this level how small the margins are.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.